Is it a good or bad draft because we don't know who the first pick is going to be?
It's a fun draft. I'll say that. I feel more confident today. What are we, 9 days out, right? I feel more confident today than I did 10 days ago on who's going to be the number one pick. I really think it's going to be Bryce Young. You know, all the information we're getting out of Carolina, and they're trying to keep it quiet, but it's hard when you have the first pick, and it really comes down to two guys between Alabama's Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. The information is going to get out. So I can't say it's 100%, but I feel really strongly that it's Bryce Young at one. Now, where this class gets really interesting, and if you had asked me 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago, I would have said it. If it's not Young, it's Stroud at one, and if it's Young at one, it's Stroud at two. The closer we get to the draft, the more information I'm getting that Houston is not going to take C.J. Stroud at number two. If Bryce Young was available, I'm told that they would take Young at two. So what does that mean, right? So if Houston stays at two and takes Will Anderson, and remember, DeMeco Ryans comes in as the head coach. You got Nick Caserio, the general manager from Bill Belichick, with a relationship with Nick Saban. And DeMeco Ryans comes from San Francisco, where they built this great defense and been able to plug in quarterbacks and get to NFC championship games. And he's a defensive guy with Alabama roots. So Will Anderson would make sense at two if you're comfortable with your quarterback situation, which I don't understand how Houston can be. But if they're not sold on one of these other quarterbacks, then maybe they go Will Anderson at two. And now Arizona, they went from having a prize pick at three to having, I mean, the stock rises on it just tenfold. Because now, like, I was told that Las Vegas was very interested, and I know for a fact they tried to get up to number one. They weren't able to get a deal done. Carolina gives up the farm to go up to one. And I was told that they're not interested in any quarterback not named Young or Stroud. But now they're in the mix. If Houston goes Will Anderson, Arizona now could trade out. And if Houston sits there at two and says, you know what, we love Will Anderson, but what can we get for this pick? And if you're Houston, right, and you're going to pass on Stroud, that's one thing. But if you're going to pass on Stroud and now you're handing him over to a division foe and you've got to face him twice a year, Indianapolis sitting at 4 or Tennessee at 11 could leapfrog Indianapolis and get up to 2 or 3. I would want to control that if I were Houston. I would want to make a deal with Las Vegas, move down to 7, still get a great player, but also get additional picks and make sure that Stroud is not in our division. So that the draft kind of starts at number 2 for me.